everybody, welcome back to another episode of Yammie Noob. I really appreciate you being here. The title of today's video is the MT07, the new one, 2021. Oh my God, finally updated. Is it amazing? Is it incredible? Oh my God, it's a little disappointing. Yeah, I've got some strong opinions today about the MT07. We're gonna get into it. It's a brand new motorcycle, sort of, for 2021. Yamaha's finally updated their probably most beloved MT bike, at least in my opinion. Today we're gonna be looking at what I think of it, the specs, and everything else about it. Let's take a look. So before we get started, I did want to shout out YammieNoob.co. If you guys have been watching the channel for any number of time, you guys know that I built this website with a developer to be the best place for motorcyclists on the internet. We've got this awesome community Discord server where I'm on there literally every day, chatting with people, hanging out, doing fun stuff. It's like a bike night that never ends, and it's pretty awesome. This video is coming out way in advance of where I was already chatting with a bunch of our Discord boys about this MT07. I often am on there in real time talking about news that happens or cool motorcycle stuff. I answer your questions. The community around there can basically help you with anything bike related. If you're a new rider or an aspiring rider, I highly recommend you hit the link down below and check it out. I'm also giving away a lot of motorcycles for free, so hit the link below and check that out. Now let's get into this MT07. Okay, so back in 2014, this motorcycle really shot a jolt of energy into the 650 class. It was kind of always dominated by the SV650, and it was actually released as a bit of an afterthought, in my opinion, of the ridiculously wheelie happy FZ09. But it turns out that the MT07, or the FZ07 as it was called back then, was actually a little bit better in my opinion. I've often have way more fun riding an MT07, FZ07 platform motorcycle than I have riding an MT09 platform bike. Now I've owned two MT07s before. I gave away an FZ07 back in 2019, and we just gave away an XSR 700 this year. So I spent a lot of seat time with the MT07 and a lot of time just in the shop putting exhaust on it. I really, really like the bike. It's really, really great, and I think that Yamaha has to get it right because they've sold actually 125,000 MT07s since its inception, which is nuts. So they really need to get it right. So let's talk about the looks of this machine. Obviously, it's the first thing that you see on it. You know, they launched the bike. It's got the crazy new Cyclops headlight like the MT09, really polarizing, but I really think it's working well for Yamaha. I mentioned this in the MT09 video, that this bike is falling into this new hyper dystopian kind of futuristic Cyclops aesthetic, and I think it's really good. It finally fits into the rest of the MT range of bikes, and they all look cohesive now. The old MT07 was looking really damn long in the tooth with that halogen headlights, the floppy bulbs, all that crap on there. It didn't really vibe with the rest of them, so I'm glad to see some changes. And the 650 class is getting seriously competitive, and Yamaha has to stand out or else they're gonna get their lunch eaten up, specifically because of one Triumph Trident. The design language of the bike is attention grabbing, just like the older brother MT09, and I know people are reluctant to accept change, but I think it's pretty awesome. It's a well-needed update to the bike, and it looks great. So important specs and changes. Is it an all-new bike? Did Yamaha come out and just redesign the whole thing and just make it awesome? No, not even close. But the old bike worked pretty well, so let's see what Yamaha has cooked up. So it's got a new design. We all can see that. Big side air scoops and the stripped back look. LED lighting all around. Finally, no more halogen light at the front. Yamaha quotes a 690cc parallel twin with the same 270-degree crank. It's Euro 5 compliant now, and it's not changed much. Yamaha is very tight-lipped about any bike changes on this one, any engine changes on it, but it's basically the same engine that it's always been. It's got larger 298mm rotors. Thank God. Yamaha finally updated the brakes on the MT07 because they really did suck. They were not very good. Basically, all the other bikes except for the SV650 with its Takiko calipers from 1999 were better. The CB650R had way better brakes with the Nissan dual discs up front. Feels really, really good, but the MT07 just didn't ever really feel that great. It's got wider bars from the factory, which is a much needed improvement as well. We got a Z650 right now in the shop that we're giving away, and one of the things I don't like on that motorcycle is how tight the bars on it. I'd like big, wide bars to get good leverage on it and muscle it around town. It's got an inverted LCD dash, so no TFT, no multifunction, no riding modes, nothing from Yamaha. Not good. LED turn signals. I love that Yamaha had to highlight that so that we knew what they were talking about. And it's got Michelin Pilot Road 5s as standard, which is excellent. And that's kind of it. Honestly, this is a bit of a light refresh rather than a new model like the MT09, and I'm a bit disappointed. Yamaha has had 7 years to think about this bike and think about what they want to do to it and think about how to improve and change it. And honestly, the biggest disappointment I have with the MT07 is that apparently they've done nothing to the front end of the bike. The forks have remained completely unrevised. They have not changed the spring rates, the cartridge, nothing on them. And in this category right now with the CB650R and the Triumph Trident both having upside down Showa non-adjustable forks that feel way, way, way better than the MT07, I think this is a huge miss from Yamaha to not do this. Also, I think we would have all really liked to see a TFT dash on this thing, maybe some rider modes, maybe some rudimentary wheelie or slide control or something like that. Factory quick shifter up and down is optional, would have been cool as well. But overall, it's a light refresh, a machine that will probably still sell pretty well, but is facing some steep competition. So let us discuss that competition right now. First up, and we gotta talk about it, and there's a whole video I made about it, it's the Triumph Trident. Price is $7,999, so it's a similar pricing. You get the triple cylinder soundtrack, 5 more horsepower, way better suspension and handling, and yes, I can say that without riding the Triumph back-to-back the MT07 because I know that Triumph is gonna make a great handling bike with the Showa upside-down fork at the front as opposed to Yamaha's more budgety suspension. The Yamaha might be better because the cross-plane twin is still a fantastic engine, and even though the MT07 feels like a weird pogo stick when it's on its side, it's still a fantastic and fun motorcycle. But the Triumph Trident is seriously starting to look like the class leader over here. Up next, of course, is the Kawasaki Z650. We've got one of these in the shop right now as a giveaway bike. I've had some time in the saddle with it, starting to understand the bike a little bit more. The price is $7,249, so it's a little bit cheaper than the MT07, but not by a whole lot. The Z650 is always going to be seen, in my opinion, as the MT07 that you have at home. It's just not the same kind of bubbly, poppily character that the MT07 has. The 180-degree P-twin doesn't elicit the same giggle factor that that other twin has. It just doesn't have the same fun factor. It's a bit more competitively priced with a better tech package, though. It does have the TFT display if that's important to you. It definitely has one of those. You know, it's thoroughly modern, but after riding it, I'm not sure that the Z650 can actually be better than the MT07 or the Triumph, to be honest. Next up in this class is the SV650. It's priced at $7,499, and the MT07 has really beat up on the SV650 over the past couple of years. I think a lot of folks look at the SV650, even though it's been heavily revised and updated in 2017, a lot of people still see that old bike from 1999. The MT07 has more torque and it feels more fun to ride as opposed to the SV650's classic naked bike kind of vibes that it has. Now the SV650 might be better because it's the god tier platform for 650 bikes. If you want to buy a bike that you can take to the racetrack, swap some GSXR front forks on, have ridiculous parts availability, the SV650 is a great platform. SV650s can often be scored secondhand for very cheap as well, so that's a big consideration. The final bike we're talking about today is the Honda CB650R. Now I had one of these back in 2019 that I gave away as part of our giveaway, and I really enjoyed the bike. I thought the 4-cylinder soundtrack was really nice. I thought it had really ample, good power. It felt really mature, grown-up kind of 650 class bike. I really like the Showa front forks. However, it costs $9,199, especially in a world where the Triumph Trident costs $7,999 and is going to give you all that and more. It's kind of difficult to justify it. It makes more power, but it's not as torquey or fun in my opinion. I do still prefer to ride the MT07 platform bikes over the CB650Rs, but the CB is a really awesome bike and will provide you ample fun over a longer term, I think, than something like the MT07 or the Tridents or that kind of stuff. It's a more mature and grown-up bike, but if the Honda looks are really important to you and you want to see that cool 4-cylinder headers, then go for it. So my final verdict here on the MT07 is Yamaha's most important bike might be slipping by the wayside compared to other bikes in the segment. The Triumph Trident has come to destroy the class. The Kawasaki has better tech, and the SV is a tried and true platform with that barking V-twin engine. The looks are polarizing for the MT07 that may hamper sales until people get used to it. Unfortunately, unless it's priced at the same $7,499, it will suffer a bit in my opinion. It didn't refresh enough to be the top of the class anymore, and the Trident will likely steal away many Yamaha sales, and the Kawasaki, despite being boring, is tremendous value for money. I'm still probably going to get one and give it away next year as a giveaway. No doubt I want to check out the new MT07, and I'm hopeful that it doesn't get its lunch eaten by the other bikes in the class. but it's not looking likely in my opinion. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Tune in next time. See you later. So my sweet little squid, this video is actually over, but lucky for you, click on this one right here. You can keep watching your sweet Papa Yam, delivering you the motorcycle content you've come to know and love. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll be here waiting for you. You're gonna click on that video.